Hey guys, and welcome back to the video. In this video, we are going to do magic functions, specifically the run function. I'm going to explain what the run function is and the advantages it has over an alternative way of using it. Yeah. So, what's the magic function? What's a magic function, basically? A magic function is basically just a shortened way of doing something that would take more clicks. And I've realized that the goal of this book is to do things the fastest and most efficient way. So the run function basically just lets you run modules regardless of where they're located in your PC. By modules, I'm referring to scripts. If you have a Python script somewhere in your PC, you could just specify the file location and then run the Python script, and it's going to run like it belonged to that notebook that you're currently working in, which is where we're going to be running the scripts. So we'll create scripts in different locations in the PC, and then we are going to try to run them in our current notebook and use the functions. So I'll show you a couple of different ways you can do this. And if you have Jupyter Notebooks installed, of course you have Jupyter Notebooks installed. I mean, if you have Miniconda installed, you can follow along. So I didn't set up my virtual environment today, so we could just do that. Just open the terminal. So let's go to our folder location. Okay, so mine is YouTube. You can go to wherever you want this to be saved. So I'm going to activate my virtual environment in the YouTube folder. Okay, then I'm going to Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and we are up and running. Now we're up and running. Okay, so magic run command. So I actually recorded this, and I didn't have my mic connected. So yeah, we could just get rid of all this. So we could say importing with syspath.append, and then you can press M to make this markdown. Yeah, so we are all good. So this is basically what we are going to cover. So let's get right in. So using the import function. So using the import function in vanilla Python, which just means Python without any extra imports to import something. We can import by just typing in import and then specifying what we want to import. Now, since we are going to be importing scripts, let's create a script in our current working directory. So our current working directory right now, or at least for me, is documents and YouTube. Let me just confirm that. So documents, YouTube. Okay, there it is. So when you're using the import function in vanilla Python without any imports, you can't specify the file type. So the script has to be in the same location as your currently working directory. Yeah. So let's create a file in there. In fact, let's just open Notepad and do this in Notepad. So again, we are just going to create a simple square function that squares a number. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how many spaces you should add. You can add as many spaces as you want. I just like to add 4 because it makes it look more saucy. Yeah, so we can say squares number. Okay, and then we are going to return a squared. Cool. Okay, let's save this. Save this as square.py. because you need to save it as Py to let your PC know it's a Python document. Yeah, so we're going to take it to Documents, YouTube, and then save it right there. Yeah. So let's try to refresh this and see if it shows up. Okay, so it shows up right there. Okay, so let's try and import it. So import square. Okay, so the fact that we haven't gotten an error, it means it's imported. So let's try and use the function from here since we've imported the Python script. Yeah, so the name of the function is square2. How ironic. Okay, so let's say square and then a, and that throws us an error. So name a is not defined. So when you make an import like this without specifying what you need from the import, you need to name the import. So square is this one right here that we're referring to here, and then the function that we need from the square import. So if you run this again, it should run, but wow, sorry about that. Yeah, it should run. Yeah, so this is, you can only square a number, so that's why it gave us that error. But what if you just wanted a specific function from the import and didn't want to import everything? So you could say from square, which is the name of our file, then you could say import square, which is the name of our function. Now, if you import it that way, you could just specify the function and then square. Okay? So this is the differences between these two methods. Okay, so now what happens if a file is located somewhere else in your PC and not where your notebook is? Now that adds a slightly extra layer of complexity, and that's where we use the sys import. I don't know if this is how it's pronounced, but that's what it looks like. So if we want to access a Python script that's located somewhere else other than where our notebook is, we need to add this import. There are other ways you can do this, but this is the simplest way to do it, in my opinion. So firstly, let's create another Python script. We could just edit this one to just make it slightly more different. We do 2, 7, and then we could print out, could use an f string. We could say I squared is, then we can call our function square, and then we can square I. Okay, let's just make sure this is okay. I squared is I. Okay, this looks okay. I just hope it runs. So let's throw this somewhere. So we can throw this on the desktop. So we can call this I1, basically I1.py. Okay, so remember it's on the desktop. Let me just copy the name because I get thrown off. So leave this open for now because we're gonna want to use it again. Okay, so importing with sys. So importing with sys, you first import sys itself. Okay, then you could say sys, because remember you specify the import first and what you want from the import. So sys is just appending the path to our notebook. So sys path append, and then you need to specify the location of the Python script. But when you're using sys and you're trying to append the location needs to be a string. Yeah. So mine is in users, and which user is that? The user is me, of course. Ian, and where did we put it? No, I think it was desktop. Yeah, users desktop. Okay, this hasn't given us an error. So from there, we could import square one. okay? And it immediately runs the function. It runs the function because we gave it a few numbers to run, okay? Okay, so if you've noticed the difference between, well, the difference between these two, this one lets you specify the file location. These two do not let you specify the file location, okay? So there's actually something that combines these two methods, and that's the magic function run, which is the purpose of this video. I just wanted to show you the two ways in which you could do this, okay? So this works regardless of where it is. If you know where it is, you can run it by just specifying the file type. Now let's go to the magic function, okay? So to use the magic function or any other magic function, you need to use the modulus or the percentage sign, however you like to call it. And then for this, you have to specify the file type, okay? So our file is in C. We could just copy this down. I think that will make it easier. Yeah, our file is in C, users, desktop, okay? But this takes it a step further because now you need to specify in the directory what you are trying to access, the name of the file you are trying to access. So we can say squared.py. So with this method, you specify the file type, okay? You specify the file type. And this throws an error. Run C users desktop.py. Square.py is not found. Square.py is not found because the one we put on the desktop is py1, okay? Okay, so py1 has ran. Okay, so this is the magic function. Let's try and throw this somewhere else, just to show you that you can access this regardless of where it is, okay? Okay, first let's just change up the values. Let's just add 10 here. And then let's send this somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, downloads? Yeah, downloads. And we'll call this square2.py. Okay, square2.py is in downloads. Then we could do the same thing. So run, we could just copy this down. Okay, so we're accessing square2, and that one is in downloads. Okay, and it goes up to 10. Oh, shoot, we closed the notepad. It goes up to 10, so our range is from, what, 2 to 9. Okay, so this is basically how the run magic function makes running scripts that are located somewhere in your PC easier. Yeah. So this basically just combines the flexibility of both of these two and will be useful if, again, you have a bunch of things to do. I'm going to cover 2 other magic functions in 2 other separate videos, so stick around and I hope to see you in the next one.